Hi, I'm Dr. Merle Diamond, the Managing Director at the Diamond Headache Clinic in Chicago, a tertiary headache specialty clinic.
I'm Judy Brown. I'm a patient advocate and a migraine sufferer of over 30 years. I run a local headache support group and have been involved with the National Headache Foundation for several years.
We're here today to talk about a recent study that was funded by GlaxoSmithKline to talk about communication issues that occur between patients with migraine and their appointments with their healthcare providers, and what happens with that communication from a patient perspective and then as well from a provider perspective.
I'm here as a migraine sufferer to help bring awareness to patients and hopefully provide tips as a migraine sufferer on how they might improve their relationship with their doctor and provide some tips. I have been a migraine sufferer since I was diagnosed in 1985, and I have found that after a first bad experience with a doctor that I needed to become my own advocate and become aware about what my disease is all about. And today the internet is right at your fingertips, and there is a lot of information that you can get and go prepared to talk to your doctor about your headache. Let him know how disabled you are, how isolated you are, how much time and work you are missing. Keeping a headache diary is a great way of talking to your doctor. I have one that keeps track of how many days I have headaches, the level of the headache, the level of disability, and medications that I take. This is a great treatment plan tool for my doctor and me to work together with on creating a medication plan that could work best for my migraines.
Doctors often communicate about how well your medication is working, whereas for patients, the real issue is, how did my migraines impact my life this month? What time did I lose? When I was at work, we call it presenteeism, was I present but not really functioning at a full level? Did I cut off plans that I might have normally made? And so there are a lot of pieces that are not communicated, but again, if you keep a headache diary, which I think gives so much detail to the healthcare provider about the impact of migraine on your daily life.
As a migraine sufferer, I know what that's like. You tend to hide from people because they don't understand that migraines are not a bad headache. I'm fortunate to have a great family that supports me and takes care of me when I have a migraine, but not everyone's fortunate enough to have that. And I think they become more aware of my disease through me becoming aware of my illness and informing them of how I feel with a migraine.
Yeah, and I think it's important to remember that migraine is a disease. It's like having diabetes or hypertension. It's something you have to pay attention to and actively track, treat, and have a reasonable treatment plan, regular follow-up. One of my patients told me she once saw a specialist and he listened, they talked briefly, and he handed her a prescription and said, I'll see you next year. And there was nothing more discouraging to her than to hear this wasn't important enough for him to know that his therapy was working and that she might be better or not be better and need help sooner than that. And I think there's sort of this disconnect between the severity of the disease and the perception of the medical community about how aggressive we need to be to help our patients be good self-advocates.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily the doctor's problem. It's more the patient's problem, not necessarily problem, but lack of knowledge. And if I could give some advice to fellow sufferers, is to become your own best advocate. You owe yourself to find your best treatment. If that means finding a different doctor, then that's what you need to do. If they're discarding your information or telling you to come back in a year, find another doctor. I would recommend going to the internet and looking at sources like lowerthepain.com or headaches.org. There's sources for symptom checkers for migraine, and also diaries that you can download.